Today, we're diving headfirst into one of the biggest debates in business. Do you build success by grinding through relationships or by scaling through systems like lead generation? Sitting across from me is a man who's mastered the science of digital attraction. He's known online as the king of leads. Arturo Johnson is the founder of the Arturo Johnson Consulting Group, a multi-seven-figure agency that's helped financial professionals, realtors, and coaches generate consistent, high-quality clients through digital marketing and automation. He created the Appointment Accelerator, a done-for-you system that helps experts attract clients online, even if they hate marketing. Before that, Arturo was a corporate sales professional, but he walked away from the grind, mastered the digital game, and built an empire teaching others how to replace cold calls and door knocking with predictable online systems. His message, simple but powerful. You don't have a lead problem, you have a follow-up and offer problem. But here's why this conversation is about to ignite. I built a national agency of over 5,000 agents, helped more than 10,000 families this year alone. And I did it without buying a single lead. No ads, no funnels, no cold calls, just faith, duplication, and word of mouth. So today, we're putting two philosophies face to face. Systems versus soldiers, algorithms versus authenticity, and paid leads versus pure duplication. This isn't just an interview. It's a masterclass in modern entrepreneurship. About to witness Arturo Johnson, the king of leads, go head to head with Matt Zapala here on the Just Earn It podcast. Let's go.
Let's go. Ding, 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 ding.
I love it. All right. So, Arturo, I appreciate you being here, big dog, from Indianapolis.
Yes, sir. Westfield, Indiana.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah. Happy to be here. Thank you.
So, listen, man, I appreciate the connection here. Shout out to Brendan Boyd. And you've helped yourself start from nothing, scratch.
Yeah.
You were just telling me off camera, Fisk University.
Yeah.
Southside Chicago, De La Salle High School.
Yeah.
Okay.
How funny is that? You said you was running some track meets there, huh?
I did. I was in my whole time in track. I was invited to the De La Salle track invitational. I was a jumper.
Okay.
High jump, long jump, triple jump.
What year do you think that was?
What was that?
What year do you
That
think
was you talking about late 80s, early 90s.
Okay, yeah. I graduated from there in 2001. So I was there from 97 to 2001.
Okay, cool. So before we get into the questions, help us get an understanding of how you got involved. First of all, because you were in the insurance business, and now you're getting people understand how online automation AI works for the market.
Yeah, for sure. So initially, when I got licensed back in 2004, recruited into the business, selling cancer and indemnity plans, hospital plans. The way that I did it was I would just canvas neighborhoods. So back then, you could go to the library and you could use this free software where you could get lists of local businesses and how many, Reference USA, that's what it was called back then.
Can you still do that?
I'm not sure, that's because I hadn't used that since 2004. But back then, and so what I would do is I would go and say, business is doing $1 million of revenue with at least 5 to 20 employees. I would print that off and I use MapQuest, and then I would just go and canvas businesses in neighborhoods. So I did that. Well, I mean, that wasn't working too well because the biggest issue I ran into was the most highly paid person, the most important person in there was the receptionist, and she was basically a gatekeeper. I realized that strategy wasn't working too well. So I just kept waiting tables. I was trying it. I was halfway in, halfway out, and then I kind of just fell out of the business, let my license lapse, and so I just kept waiting tables up until about like 2015, 2016. I got licensed again, and then
why did you decide to give it another shot?
Well, I was waiting tables, so it was just like I just felt like I wanted more life. You get to that moment where I was kind of comfortable. I was making probably $1,000 a week, so everything was going okay. It wasn't broken, but I was getting complacent. Okay. You know what I mean? And I just felt like I wanted more, and then I was getting frustrated all the time. I was like, this must be the only option I have. That's why I'm frustrated. I'm not frustrated about my life. I'm frustrated because I don't have another option. Yeah. So I just happened to take my mom to church on this one particular Sunday because she had got sick, and I moved her to Nashville. And one of the guys I went to school with, his name was Tony Johnson, and he looked like $1 million when I saw him. He had hair kind of like yours, but it was long because he's like black and Filipino. So it's these long locks.
He's black Filipino. He's black Filipino.
Black Filipino.
He's Blasian.
And exactly. And so, and I knew him from back in the day, and he didn't look like the same person. And so I was like, I don't know what he's doing, but I want that. But the most important thing, he was like, this guy named Mike, he was a mentor. He was like, he could mentor you. Yeah. He was my mentor. And at that time, he had the most diverse agency in the Southeast that was in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Hey, really quickly before we get back to the episode, I got something for you. So if you're stuck between $8K and $25K a month as an entrepreneur, then you already know the truth, right? You're not fine. You're not just figuring it out. You're not almost there. You're stuck. And you feel it every single day. You wake up with that pressure in your chest. You refresh the Stripe screen hoping that something magically changed, and you pretend like you've got momentum when deep down you know damn well you're running out of energy. And you stare at the calendar and feel behind before you even start the day. You avoid the task list because it feels like a reminder of failure. And you tell your family you're good, but internally, I know you're still thinking, how am I still at this level? And let's be honest, you're not lacking potential, you're lacking structure, you're lacking guidance, you're lacking the identity required to get you to the next level. And here's the real punch to the gut. You don't have a marketing problem, you don't have a leads problem, you don't have a tactics problem, you have a you problem. A version of you that was built for 8 to 20K months as an entrepreneur, and that person is still trying to build a 100K per month business, and you don't see the identity mismatch. And I believe it, and I know it because I've lived it. Before I scaled, before I got clients $100 million in results, before I became the king of leads, I was you, overworked, overwhelmed, lying to myself about how close I actually was. And the turning point was when I was in Sam Ovens' mastermind that I paid $36,000 for. And Sam Ovens, he never sugarcoated anything. And he looked at me dead in the face and said, you don't scale by adding more. You scale by becoming someone who no longer needs the noise. And that punched me in the soul, because he was right. And my business wasn't stuck because I didn't know enough. It was stuck because I was still operating like the old version of me. And that's exactly why I built my one-on-one consulting program. And no, it's not some crappy course. No, it's not some low-ticket community, not some watered-down group coaching call with 100 people on it and one guru. It's an actually one-on-one mentorship where I walk you through the exact identity, the structure, the offering, the pricing, the frameworks that produce 30K, 50K, even 100K months with margins that blow agencies and consulting companies out of the waters. And let me just cut to the chase. If you're still watching this video right now and you know that you're capable more, you know that you've been playing small, you already know that the version of you running your business today cannot take you to the next level. And so now we're at this point where you've got two choices, right? One is stay stuck, keep lying to yourself, keep trying harder, keep trying to survive month to month, keep doing everything manually, right? Keep hoping that something changes while you stay the same. And you can do that. Most entrepreneurs do, but they waste years. Or option two, that'll actually fix the problem, is book a call. Let me audit your business. Let me build you a custom 90-day roadmap that's simple, clear, and executable, made specifically for you, most importantly. Not a template. And worst case, right, you finally understand why you're stuck and have it unlocked. The best case is you have a breakthrough through this glass ceiling that you've been hitting for years and become the best version of you that you've been avoiding. And let's just get real honest about where you are and build the business and the identity that matches where you're trying to go. Tap the link, book the call. I'll see you on the inside. Now let's get back to the episode.
So obviously that piqued my interest. Yeah. So
diversity in terms of ethnicity wise.
Yeah. Cool. He had the fastest grossing team, and it was like the majority of it was African Americans.
Nice.
So at that time, I'm thinking like, okay, I could see the success. So then I feel like that would me being able to emulate some of these things and somebody could mentor me. Yeah. That's really what I was looking for, was a mentor at that time to kind of find some direction.
Sure.
So I did that, and that's when I realized, like, that's why I quit in the first time. In the first place, I didn't have a predictable system, or nobody could tell me exactly how to get in front of more people. Everybody just told me to keep fighting to see more people. Yeah. But when I asked 10 people, there was 10 different strategies, and the outcome was 10 different outcomes also. Yeah. So me being probably mid-20s, going into my early 30s, the process that other people had was leveraging their personal networks and stuff like that. Well, I didn't graduate from Vanderbilt, or I didn't have that type of network. A lot of people in my family didn't finish high school. So, you know, I'm working in the service industry, we're making a lot of money, but they're also spending a lot. So my warm market, after I made my P200, like, I didn't make any sales. Yeah. So what I had to do is I had to resort to cold calling out of the phone book, right? Like the guy next to me was making sales. He was the only one working. I hear him on the phone all the time. I'm like, what's he doing?
Yeah.
He's like, he's just cold calling out the phone book, and everybody's laughing at him, but he's making sales. So naturally, I started doing that. I'm like, well, this sucks. And so I'm like, well, why hasn't anybody tried to like use social media to do this? I'm not a genius, but
What year is this?
This is probably 2018.
Interesting.
Yes, because April of 2019, I started Arturo Johnson Consulting. So the 9 months, probably August to up until maybe March or whatever, I'm kind of going through this whole thing at that time.
Yeah. By the way, you got any Spanish in you? Where's Arturo come from?
So my father's name is Arthur.
Okay.
And they didn't want to go with the second because he was already a junior.
Okay.
So they went with Arturo.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how that came.
It's the OG name.
Yes,
Original.
yes. So at that time, I'm doing it manually. I go to Fisk University. I went to Fisk University, but Meharry Medical College was right across the street.
What were you studying at Fisk?
Biology.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So in that first year of doing that, study habits was good. So I just started working. I dropped out, started working, had my daughter at 22. But then, fast forward back to 2018. I'm like, I wonder why nobody hadn't solved this, at least in this network, like using social media to try to get clients. So I just started reaching out to people that were in the residency program at Meharry, and I kind of started doing the financial loan specialist. That's what I turned myself into, and it's like to get in front of people to try to get referrals, because that was the thing with Northwestern is you trying to get 60 to 80 referrals a month. So what I did was I would just a document that you can print off that when you graduate, you can like defer your loans or something like that for student loans for medical professionals. So I helped them fill that out. And then in turn, I told them about insurance, but then they would then refer me up to the doctors that were their mentors. See, when you're in a program, there's somebody that's graduated that they would then mentor you. And so I was just basically getting them to tee me up to refer me to those people. So that was kind of my system. So I used social media to get in front of those people.
Nice.
Right.
So you really work with two top name brand life insurance companies in your experience in the insurance business. And even then, they still didn't have any form of protocol to help a brand new guy with no rich connections, no rich market, no connections establish themselves in the insurance business.
Yeah, and
it's kind of odd.
Yeah, and some of the methods that they worked, but they just didn't work for my demographic, right?
Yeah.
That was the thing. So, I mean, it was either continue to try to do this was it wasn't working, or I had to try to like use, my ingenuity and perspicaciousness to like, hey, this isn't working for me. This is working for somebody else. I don't have the network that they have. I don't have the background that they have. So I've got to figure out how to get in front of people.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of brand was, the financial loan expert, to get in front of, and I niche down to medical professionals. Well, the problem with doing that was I was DMing everybody, so every day I was getting lost in the messages that I wasn't able to follow up with people. So I'm like, what if I could find a way to automate this? So that's when I was like, well, LinkedIn, because you can kind of target financial or medical professionals, or everybody's kind of got their own thing on LinkedIn. And there was an automation called Linked Helper at the time that was a Chrome browser extension. So then I could use that to automate the connection and the first message that went out. And then it was like a CRM also. So I started using that, and I think in the first month, I set like 100 and something appointments, and I had like 22 closes, and I did a bunch of joint work. So I was like, okay, it's working. Now, the problem though was it was captive, so the compliance dude, Alan, I still remember his name to this day, comes knocking on the door, and he's like, hey man, you can't, I saw some stuff you posted on social media.
Oh my gosh.
You can't use it.
Oh my gosh.
So it's like, well, this way that I was doing it before, it worked for everybody, but it's not working for me. So for me, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And this way, I made some sales. Yeah. And I was on the leaderboard for my activity, which, congratulations. And you want me to go back to doing that? Well, obviously I couldn't do that because for like 8 months, I was struggling.
But I think that's for the viewers that's out there, the financial services industry is very different because it's very, very highly regulated. It's a lot of compliance details, and they basically boil you down to corporate stock imagery and videos. And to your point, it's not very attractive. It doesn't relate. It's not relatable. Nobody want to click on that type of stuff. So for a lot of people
but
out there,
on that point too, though, like even if the stuff that they give you, the pamphlets, to get it approved for you to get it takes 30, 45 days. So if I got a speaking engagement and I need the stuff, it's got to get approved for me to go doing the speaking thing. And so I missed out on opportunities doing lunch and learns at Meharry also because I couldn't get the literature.
Yeah. So that's the problem with a lot of people in the financial services industry. Getting their business off the ground without compliance. Now, there's a lot of independent agents out there, and the thing with independent agents, they don't have the compliance department. But if you get in the crosshairs of the compliance departments of the insurance industry of the states you're in, then you can risk losing your license. The compliance officer there is kind of helpful because they're helping protect the company.
Yeah, keep you out of trouble also for what you say, right?
But you can't market either.
Yeah, so I couldn't market. So I'm like, well, it kind of lit a fire under me, though. Honestly, it gave me a chip on my shoulder to try to prove them wrong that I could do this. You could, create a business and have success in insurance with a predictable system to generate leads. Because I just wanted people, the problem with the friends and family thing is they always see you as the person you were before, so it's hard to kind of do that, to kind of change that imagery. Right? If I'm talking to my aunt about insurance, she used to change my diapers, and now I want to talk to her about her money, right? That's not happening.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to just get in people that didn't know me as AJ. They knew me as Arturo, as a financial professional. And the only way I could do that was to create the brand and then start to attract people through social media that was interested in the topic that I was talking about. So that's why I went that route. And it worked for me, right? Yeah. So at that point, it's like March. It was like the 21st. I remember because it was right before my birthday. And I just decided I wasn't going to go. I went in to the office and told Mike Blivens at that time that I wasn't going to do it anymore. And interesting thing happened today. Like he never came out to say anything at that time either. Because I talked to the receptionist. He's like, yeah, just wait a second. He'll be out. He never came out. And then the next Monday morning meeting, everybody's laughing. Oh, he doesn't know what he's doing. How's he going to start doing this thing for insurance agents and he couldn't get it to work, right? It's very interesting, right?
So how did it drive you?
Oh, dude, that was the biggest chip. I wanted to make what he was making in a year and a month. That was my goal.
I love it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I did that.
You're driven by madness. You got a point to prove.
Well, but again, I needed that fire because I kind of was just running off of piss and gasoline at that time, right? Just this ferociousness that I didn't want to do what I was doing. I found something at work and I had somebody to prove wrong. So that was just enough to kind of keep me motivated to make it happen, even when it was getting tough. So I did that. And then in 2019, probably April or June, and like my first 4 or 5 clients when I was using this LinkedIn thing, because they couldn't use social media, but they could get the leads, were insurance agents from my old company, like my first 5 clients, right?
Yeah.
And I remember getting my first client, it was like 4:35, and I got my apron on doing my pre-shifts because I'm not selling insurance, so I went back to waiting tables for a little bit till the business kind of took off to make some money. Yeah. And I go in the back stairwell, and at that time it was $500 a month for the lead gen management for that. That was like my first client. Yeah. And he said yes, and he paid me from off of social media, and that changed my whole perspective.
I love it. Like, wow, I'm validated. This can work now.
Yeah, like it was actually real at that time. Yeah. Like somebody said yes. Yeah. And that changed everything for me.
I love it.
Because it made me think that there was endless opportunities, that nothing could really stop me if I focused, I locked in, and I truly had something that I could offer people that was of value. Yeah. And it worked for them, that they had the same feeling that I had. They didn't want to be cold calling out of the phone book.
It's a big problem in any business. And if you can find one of them to do it, you can find 10 of them to do it, you can find 100 of them to do it. So how did it start snowballing from there?
So Steven, he's an attorney in Boston, still to this day, if you look him up on LinkedIn. And it's funny how God works sometimes. So I wasn't able to get him results. And so I promised him 30 days, and if I didn't get him results, I would give him a refund.
Wow.
So, because again, I was so intense on it working that I had to offer, like, dude, if this doesn't work, I'm saying, I'll give you money back.
My name and reputation on the line, good.
Yeah,
good
yeah.
for you.
So I did that, and I had to give him his money back.
Okay.
But lo and behold, the software that I was using was a Chrome extension that LinkedIn banned.
Oh, no.
So my whole model was about to be crushed. But
Okay.
this dude, Steven, had this other software that was an API tool that some kind of way his friend had it. That was another agent, and it was a secret because nobody was supposed to have it, but he had it, and he didn't know how to use it, and I had already had experience with this one. So he gave me access to it to run that one, and that's when it took off because now I can manage everybody's account indirectly from an API key, kind of like, you know what ManyChat is. You can manage multiple accounts from that. And that's the tool that actually like helped me to get to like my first 10 grand a month. Because that when I say I had that tool, it was automated and the results were coming in that I went from charging $500 a month to $2,000 a month.
Yeah.
And I got my first like 4 clients or whatever in like six to 8 months.
And you control the API, you control the app, not some extension.
Yeah. So then I hired my first VA, Kelly, and then I have all the SOPs. I create Loom videos and PDFs. So now I could just focus on selling, and she can manage the thing and do the lead gen management from Online Jobs PH.
Yeah.
So I was paying her.
My cousin in the Philippines.
Huh?
It's my cousins in the Philippines.
Exactly. And she's still on my team to this day.
I love it.
The backbone of my business. So so she was managing the messaging, and I just was focused on the marketing and the sales at that time.
Yeah, dude, I love it. So here's where I like to bring this up because I've built a national agency of 5,000 agents without ever buying a single lead. Now we do social media advertising all day.
Now you do.
Now,
But before, was it pre-COVID? No?
No, still pre-COVID. Because I've been on. How long have I been on YouTube? 17 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, long time, right? 10, 15 years on Facebook. But it was a form of social media traction marketing. And social media has allowed us to foster or expose us to relationships that were there that we didn't know were there. So, so if somebody like me or a brand new guy, right, does it make sense to advertise or start some form of lead gen, especially if they find themselves in your position, they're brand new in their business, their industry, their endeavor. Do I start building relationships, or in your opinion, should they start advertising or start doing your methodology?
Well, I never try to force anybody to do anything that they don't believe or they don't think will work, because if you believe that, then it's probably true. It doesn't matter what kind of results they get. If they don't like the method, then they're not going to be happy with it.
Whether it's shaking hands, friends, and family,
Yeah.
or this methodology.
Right. So I'm always like, can you see the potential if you could use this? And I'm always breaking it down. Like, you don't have to stop doing the model that you're already doing, right? But social media can be word of mouth on steroids.
Yeah.
Where you can
for
make
sure.
one video
Yeah.
that could change the whole game from you. Like, it literally could go viral with the message. And so if you don't want to go lead gen way fully, like you should still be posting content, sharing your expertise. We're in a trust recession right now. So if you're supposed to be an expert, well, let me see, help some people in advance, and you build that equity by producing content. I mean, that's how I found you, right? That's why I watched your stuff in the beginning, is because you were doing content. I don't know what made you start doing that.
Yeah.
Which I'm curious to know, but
Yeah.
I mean, you were doing organic at that time.
It was really meant for me to train my agents.
Leverage. So it's a
Yeah.
duplicatable system.
Yeah.
Hey, go watch this video. Don't ask me. I created a video on that. Go and watch this. Huh?
But since it was public, the rest of the industry started watching it.
Yeah.
And so indirectly, I've been training a lot of people. It's not even part of my company. I probably never know them.
Right. So
Yeah.
there's probably hundreds to potentially thousands, potentially millions of financial professionals that you've impacted, indirectly trained, that have been mentored by you that you don't even know they call you their mentor. You were my mentor for a little bit because I was trying to figure out how to explain stuff in the presentation.
Sure.
Right?
Insurance. I think. Yeah.
So in that instance,
Okay.
it still makes sense to do it.
Yeah.
Whether you're gonna use it for leads or you would use it to help develop your agents to do training for you, because it's the same process, or you're saying the same things and you're breaking it down at a high level. Why not just record it and give them a recording of it?
Yeah. So walk me through the process. Walk me through the process of. So is it just buying leads cold, or is it warming them up through social media?
So there's two ways. So if you're doing it organic and you don't want to pay for it, it's very simple. You just create talking head videos to talk about a micro point, short form content now, right? Which is super easy. Video needs to be longer than 15 to 45 seconds, and you just talk about a specific thing. Here's the 3 things that most people don't know. There's the difference between 401k and IUL. Some of the stuff that...
What do you think is more effective these days, long form content or short form content?
I think that you need both.
If it was 50-50?
Because they work synergistically, right?
Okay.
So one feeds them into the other. It's like a stream into a river, right? And what I'm noticing now, just from if you start a new channel, you'll see it really quickly on YouTube. The shorts are getting your
We
subscribers.
just talk about that.
Your shorts are getting your I just started a new channel. It's getting all my subscribers.
Yeah.
And so here's how you can build a business, find your ideal clients, find your ideal partners, and do it all part-time is by creating long-form YouTube videos and then clipping it
There you
that
go.
bring your subscribers and do it all at once. So now you only got to do one video a week.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
what 1 hour a week to make one
Sure.
video to help you build your business and find your ideal customers. And if you're really good, you'll get paid to do that also.
I love it. I love it. So when you're creating this content, so what's your strategy then helping a brand new person in their endeavor in their business? What would be the first original forms of short form content should they create?
I think you should try to be very strategic and scripting out what you're going to say in the beginning, right? So when you're nervous or you're a beginner, right, that shows up in your content. But if your words are clear, right, people will forgive you for being a beginner because we all started in that space. But if you're all over the place and you're nervous and it's bad, nobody's going to listen to it. So if you're able to script it out, repetition, you'll get used to saying what you'll say faster if you're consistent and you do a lot of content. So I say, hit ChatGPT to give you topics, ideas, scripts, or better than that. The smartest thing to do is find somebody that's already having success with it, copy the video, transcribe it, see what's working, ask ChatGPT to tell you why this video works, and then give it to you in your voice,
Love
right?
it.
And then you can kind of model that. That's the smartest thing to do. That's what I do.
The only caution I have any financial professional putting content out there like that, because we tried it many times, and there's things there that'll say, we're talking about compliance, right?
Okay, so
Right.
let's slow down with that.
Hold on, let me just finish this point. If you put content out there and you don't review your copy, you can put yourself right in the crosshairs of the compliance department. You're going to lose your license.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So
To your
on
point.
that note too is for compliance, the very first thing you should do is go and ask them to tell you exactly what you can and cannot do. To give you the playbook, which is very simple. So now you know
your compliance department.
Yes,
for sure,
exactly.
for sure.
So you go and get that, and then you can put that into ChatGPT.
Yeah. I'll give you an example. Like, for example, brand new insurance agents, because they deal with retirement planning, right?
Yes.
They call themselves financial advisors.
Yeah, they're financial representatives of what they are.
But they don't know that. But ChatGPT is setting them up.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you know what else do? Some of the companies, like they had me thinking I was a financial advisor.
Yeah.
Until I flip the card over and it says this person is an independent contractor and it's a financial representative of this entity.
Yeah. Because technically, financial advisor, because I was Series 6 licensed before. That's the only time you can. I thought the irony. Here I am, just out the military. I get my Series 6 license, but I can say I'm a financial advisor.
Right.
And I just filed bankruptcy 3 years ago.
Right.
I ain't nowhere close to be a financial advisor, but I passed a license.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of financial advisors out there. And by the way, financial advisors really sell you stocks, bonds, mutual funds, whatever, the ETFs. They're not really financially advising.
Right.
Like the holistic thought of the word.
Yeah,
It's
they're
just
going through a process to uncover gaps in your financial plan to where they can put a plan together for you. Like I remember just doing
But it's predominantly through securities.
correct,
Yeah.
right? And but again, a good advisor is going to make sure that you got some risk management underneath there
Yeah.
before they start putting you into that, because it's like risk management's down here with your life insurance, short-term disability, 3 to 6 months,
Yeah.
right? And so that's
But
the first
You'd be
part.
surprised how many financial advisors don't even know about life insurance. I had a guy on my podcast. He's been in financial advisor for 40 years, dealt with athletes. And I was just sharing some basic things about life insurance. He's like, I've never heard of that before. Interesting. So these guys are great for financial advising to stocks, bonds, and mutual funds, but not necessarily the risk management side of things.
Yes.
That's where life insurance people come in.
Yeah, for sure. But like, so you do that, and again, you know, the person who manages the money manages relationship, and so if you can get them on as a client either through the insurance, some risk management or something like that, then bumping them up into, okay, here's the options, the buckets for you to do wealth accumulation, which is that next tier, right? And then the last tier is wealth distribution. Once you've done this, like that's where you go. So I just remember that from the presentations
Good for you.
of doing
Good memory.
that stuff. So
Yeah.
So I agree with that. But again, back to being compliant with the social, right? Is just ask them what you can and can't say, and then you can feed that in, and that'll edge your script, and then also go through it again, right?
Yeah. So, okay, you got your ChatGPT, you got your script, then what?
So then you commit to a schedule.
Do you commit to memory or do you use a teleprompter?
Teleprompter, 100%. Until you get good at it, it's like you want to train, right?
Yeah.
But there's a saying that amateurs practice until they get it right, and professionals practice until they can't get it wrong, right? So the best way to do that is to script it and then say it until it flows and until you believe it, until you've mastered it to where you can say it without having to think about it.
So now you're creating a library of content on LinkedIn. What's your top 3 social media? If there is
I think the best social media one is the one that you're going to be consistent to post on.
Okay.
That's working for you, right? That's engaging with you, right? Because again, we want to make this about the inputs, which is it only works if you stay consistent and you do it over a long period of time, right? In the beginning, it's going to suck and it's not going to work and the views are going to be down and it's not going to grow. It's going to feel like you're pushing a boat up the thing. But once it starts to work, you're like, man, I should have started this a long time ago.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the easiest one to do is like Facebook, because you do instant post because you can connect the accounts.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
You post on Facebook, post on Instagram, post on Instagram, post on Facebook.
I think the easiest way to grow now is on TikTok, but like I'm 42, so I'm not really a TikTok person.
I'm a military guy. I don't trust TikTok.
So Instagram's easier for me for, kind of what I'm trying to do. Cause I'm kind of at this stage where I'm doing something cool, but I'm also old enough that people can kind of I got a little bit of salt and pepper coming in the beard. So I got some wisdom and doing some things. So specifically, this would apply to all the platforms because it's just short form content. And then it's cool now because it's short, so you don't have to be polished. You can we call them like bars, right? You just give them a little taste of it and solve a micro problem. Because all you're trying to do is get them to stop scrolling, pay attention for 15 to 30 seconds to just open their mind to a concept.
Yeah.
To just be curious. You're stopping them for curiosity, like, I didn't know that.
So, okay, that's one thing. Now you got the content posted, but how do people see it? If I'm brand new, I'm just starting my business, I got 5 views, 2 views, 10 views. Help people get over that frustration.
Well, I mean, think about it. Like, you're creating one piece of content that 5 people have seen. You're creating one piece of content that's 100 people that 100 people would see. That seems like a low number, but how many people have you seen in a week? How long does it take you to see 100 people, right? Yeah. If you do that process, it's not that complicated, and you get good at it, you start to see what works, and now you can make data-driven decisions on what content to double down on. You're doing research, you're getting better at communication. You've had a process where you're probably having some appointments and things. The objections that you get from there can turn into content ideas also. You're going through presentations. So you're basically getting good at the skill of communication, which is the bottom line.
You're busy creating this content now. And the reason I say it's frustration because 5 views, 10 views, 100 views, but I need to write business this week. I need to write business this month. And that may not necessarily be automatic and predictable and systematic.
Good point. So what you should do is you should continue with the activities that you've been trained on to work. So you do the hand-to-hand combat at the same time. And then you take one day on a Saturday for 1 hour and you batch out 10, 15 videos. It's 15 to 45 seconds. If you pre-plan this, you take 30 minutes to script it out, and in 30 minutes to shoot 10 videos. Like, that's not really that complicated.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Sure.
So now you can do these activities until this one started to take off.
But still, I put 10 videos out there and nobody's calling me. Nobody's DMing me.
This the whole point is that's short term. That's a short term process. If you're in it for the long term, right? Like, this is the thing that you would have to commit to, which is like, if you want this to work, it's not going to work overnight. It's going to take a little while, but once it does work, it's going to make things feel a lot easier.
Okay. So how do I solve that dilemma? I got to pay a bill this month.
Well, again, you have to get out there and do it, right? You have to still get out there, knock doors, cold call, or do whatever you need to do.
Okay, so it's a combination of things.
Yeah, 100%. That's why I said on a Saturday, you're working on to pay the bills today, and you're working on how to build an empire tomorrow with the content.
Okay. So with your methodology, being the king of leads, what's the next step?
So once you start to get some traction, right, you want to try to reinvest into leverage, right? So using paid ads and advertising and stuff like that is a good strategy to go to accelerate the growth of your business, right? And so I'm all about the leverage in any way that I can kind of multiply my message to get it out there. If I could create something and use leverage to get it out to more people, right? Like, if my social media is only getting, I'd say, 100 views, right? I can pay Instagram $20 to get it to 1,000. You know what I mean? So in that instance, it's leverage. So any way that you can get in front of more people, right? That's what the whole purpose of doing any of this is, to generate leads, is to get in more people. It's strategies. But here's what I say too: is it's all hard, right? It's like you got to choose your heart. And so if you're doing it this way and it's working for you, then maybe you don't need social media. But if it's not working for you, then you got to try everything.
Yeah, I think today you have to do both. You just can't be a handshake,
one-dimensional person.
And the flip side too, you just can't be a social media person. Because like for example, what we just experienced, we became online acquainted, but now we meet offline.
Right.
From online to offline. You got to find ways to go from online to offline very quickly. And like some of the things I tell my guys, especially there's 174,000 people moved here to Dallas last year.
100 and how many?
74,000 moved to Dallas, the DFW area.
Wow.
And by the way, I think it might get a little worse based on what just happened in New York. But the Texas Stock Exchange is opening next year. And so if you're looking at the city and where the country is going, people need to make new connections.
Right.
People need to make new friends, new relationships. So especially just coming to a new city.
Right.
And so if I'm moving here, let's say if you just moved to Dallas, right? And you need to establish, your chiropractic business, your insurance business, whatever, right? So what's the methodology? So how do I have an established business, but now I'm bringing in leads?
Yeah, well, at the same time, it's all about brand awareness. The only way somebody could be aware that if their back's hurting, that they have some place to go, is to you, right? For example, if I don't know that you exist and you're a barber and I need my haircut and you're not online and I just moved to Dallas and I'm looking for a haircut and I search through Google and you're not on there, I'm going to choose the person that's on here to go and get my haircut. If I'm on Instagram and I'm looking for a barber, and barber in Dallas, you're not on there, then I'm gonna pick one of the people on there. I'm gonna go to TikTok and look at the reviews of a product, right? That's how a lot of people buy things these days, is through UGC creators of what clothes fit certain types of people, right? Of their build. So a lot of the marketing and the way we purchase things is based off of content creators.
Okay, so tell me about the Appointment Accelerator.
So it's the Agent Accelerator.
Okay.
Right? And so what this is AI-powered lead generation, where we use AI data to target specific demographics of people, specifically for veteran life leads or IULs and things of that nature. So what happens is when you run Facebook ads, like I have done it for probably like 7 years, you end up with data where people generate leads. And so those can go into a spreadsheet.
Sure.
So the cool thing about that is when you run an agency.
Or a CRM.
Exactly. But you still download it to a spreadsheet because you would need to upload. You can upload it to Facebook. So now you got a database. So let's just say I have 5 people that were my clients that were insurance agents, right? And they generated leads and they made sales and they tagged them and color-coded all sales. After doing it for a certain period of time as an agency, I can sort those people. I have their data, and then I can upload it into Facebook and say, give me more people like these people who purchased.
So creating a lookalike audience. Okay.
Which is called a lookalike audience.
Okay.
And so from there, I'm using this data to get my clients more customers. So for each client that comes on, the results get better because I have more data to get them more people, and the algorithm kind of just feeds off of that.
Okay.
So that's the first part of the system is the lead generation. Okay. The second piece is we use a marketing funnel. And what a funnel is a series of steps to take people through where they either consume information or they give you information. For example, lead form to capture their information. You run an ad to intrigue them. They seem interested. They stop scrolling. They say, oh, that's interesting. I want to learn more. They click. In exchange for their information, you give them some information, which is an educational video to kind of educate them a little bit more on it. So you're giving them a little appetizer, and then at some point you give them a little bit of the entree after they exchange your information, which is like a VSL, explainer video, basically, right? Does that make sense?
Sure.
At that point, if they're pre-sold on maybe they can see how this would fit for them, they can then do something where we have them fill out an AI survey, which is they answer name, email, phone number, and some more questions in depth. And then from there, they can then book a call. And that's when the insurance agent can hop on the call with them.
Interesting. Okay, got it. So when looking at budget-wise, how much am I budgeting for something like this? Is it costly? Is it thousands of dollars?
Yes, it is thousands of bucks. Right. Yeah. So you're paying to not have to go and cold prospect, right? Okay. So there's leverage in there. So you can prospect with your time or your money, or you can prospect with both of them. And so everything is about the ROI. So at the end of the day, you can if you set up a system and somebody's out there like, okay, I know how to do Facebook ads, I watched a YouTube video and I want to do it, I wouldn't start with anything less than $100 a day. So you're looking at probably like $3,000 a month for something like that. But again, starting out,
not thousands of dollars, $100 a month. Not thousands of dollars.
No, $3,000 a month.
$100
a day.
I hear you correctly.
$3,000 a month.
Okay.
And so if you're trying to do something by yourself, if not, you hire an agency. Obviously, it's going to be between $6,000 and $10,000 a month or something like that.
Okay, I got you. So again, back to my roots. My business is rooted in referrals. It's based on credibility. It's based on community. But you scale through thousands of dollars of investment in automation.
Yes.
So what do you think then lasts longer? What's the long play? Is it automation and spending thousands of dollars on leads, or is it relationships?
I think that you need both, which is you can use lead generation,
But what's long
to
term?
generate referrals also, because all you got to do is build a relationship with the client that you have and turn that one into two.
So there's an investment. So if you got to figure out what you want to do. I mean, guys, you're in business for yourself. You either go out there and you shake hands and you be a man and a woman of the community, or you can invest thousands of dollars, which is an option. I mean, a very easy thing for people to drop $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 if you're a serious business person. I did that when I was before social media came out. I was doing dinner seminars.
Okay.
So before social media came out, I was buying zip codes of people 65 and older who had homes over $250,000.
Okay.
So I still dropped $5,000.
Right.
And you're talking about the early 2000s.
Right.
So that's significantly more if I was going to do that today.
Right. And then what about the time frame of how that process works?
So I dropped it, and my dinner seminar would be in 2 weeks. So people get the mailer, right, and then that costs money. The mailer costs money.
Drop the mail, right,
Yeah.
in the zip code.
Postage costs money.
Yeah.
Right. And then I get I would say 50 buying units, which is about 100 people at an Italian restaurant in Chicago.
Yeah.
They're in Westchester.
Okay.
22nd in Wolf Road, and so I have 100 people I'm feeding now. So that's another $2,000 to hopefully get 3 to 5 to actually do business with me.
Right. Well, which
So-
again, there's still a risk to that too, because
Yeah,
you could go
yeah.
through all that process,
Yeah.
and you can get what they called them back then, plate lickers, right? People that would come
Yeah.
and just for the
Yep.
meals and never
Yeah.
and never go through the process.
But I started my business that way, so I see your point. This is just another way of doing it. At least this way you can create social media friends or followers.
Yeah, but see, there's also another piece, the caveat to that too, is the county's being bought out that you're trying to get. So if I live in a certain area, but
Yeah.
a big dog like you's been doing it for 5-10
I
years,
got it. Yeah.
that county can be bought
Sure,
out. And
I
so
see- I
now
see what you
I've
mean.
got to find another market that may not be as good as that one.
This was happening because
Yes.
every day, so they'd come to my seminar, and every day, we're going to so and so seminar tomorrow. So
Yeah.
seminar tomorrow. So there's so many financial advisors, insurance agents doing business in my county.
Yeah.
To your point, but eventually over time though, I built enough relationships that I didn't have to do any more dinner seminars. But if I was to coach a brand new guy to get started in my industry, and I didn't know how to have the gift of gab, if I had any coaching and mentorship
Right.
like you didn't have, I'd tell them to go buy some dinner seminars and do some leads that way.
I'm thinking through some of the other challenges because, man, this is really taking me back.
Yeah.
And one of the other challenges I had too was like in my market when I was going after the medical professionals, they all knew about my mentor who had been doing it for so long because he had built those relationships. So even if they were interested from me doing the referral thing, they had alliance. They had alliance to him because I was a beginner and I couldn't get the business.
Yeah.
So you do run into that as a beginner also.
Yeah.
Where you run into that relationship thing where you're having meetings, you're having opportunities with prospects that you've been fighting so hard, you finally get somebody and you get down to that stuff. Yeah, but do you know Mike?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about it. I've been working with him and I just went through 2-3 presentations with them. And that's when I was like, man, I need to find people who are interested, a little bit more warm and ready to go right now. And that's why I went to social media.
Yep. Because I think a lot of agents are, they treat, lead systems like life support.
Oh,
Right?
man. Don't even get me started on that.
Yeah, once the CRM stops digging, the lead flow starts happening.
They stop working.
They forget to go out and shake hands and go back to the stuff. So if you're just purely on one system, which I appreciate you saying, you're being absolutely honest. So you're not stuck on one system. You may be the king of leads, but you got to make sure you're a king about the people. From
King of truth is what it
Yeah,
really
you're
is.
just
It's like
not online. You're
the things that work, I have a saying that when the facts change, I change.
Yeah.
Right. So if it's working and it's working for you, that's your truth.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna tell you, hey, that doesn't work anymore. If it's working for you, then do it. But that doesn't mean that's gonna work for me, right? And if there's more than one way to get the same result, I remember being in school and I hated this. Well, you bring your homework in, or you bring the test up, and you got the right answer, but it wasn't the exact way that the teacher, you didn't do the problem the way they told you to do it. It was still marked wrong,
even though you had the right answer.
Yeah. So it's things like that, which is like, so if it's working for you, then do it. But again, this is the truth that I believe that is the fastest path to accelerate you to get to your goal. If you're in a certain situation like I am, where the method that you were trying isn't working for you. You don't have the network. The network that you are isn't working. Somebody that's ahead of you has already dominated that, and you don't have any other options.
So there's no silver bullet here. It's either you're investing in relationships, shaking hands, and taking the time to do that, or you're dropping thousands of dollars. So here's $1 million question: does the future of marketing belong to those who commit to social media marketing solely? They're just marketing, or people that's out there in the streets shaking hands, meeting the people? Is it so? I would think your answer would be a combination of both.
Yeah, because the market and the legislation is going to decide, right? It's like, are they going to let there be ways that AI can help you with AI assistant to be able to help facilitate the onboarding process of a client, right? So in that instance, if that does happen, then AI won't replace you. The advisor or the agent using AI will, right?
Bingo.
So that's the deal.
Yeah.
So that's my stance on it.
Yeah, that's a good position. If you don't know how to use marketing and AI, your competitor will.
Yeah. So even in a different market. So I have a good friend of mine's birthday was yesterday, Austin Thompson, in Nashville. Been my best friend since college, and he's a firefighter in Franklin Fire Department in Nashville, and he leveraged ChatGPT to give him a series of questions to be sharp, to be ready to pass the test for the fire department.
Oh, interesting.
Right? Which is,
What?
he didn't have the answers to the questions, but it was like a repetition of practice of questions around there. And after you do so many, there's not a question that you can't answer. So in that instant, is that an edge that makes him intelligent and smart to be able to be perspicacious, to be prepared, to have the right answer, and to get the result he's looking to get?
He's being resourceful.
Yeah.
I agree. Here's the crazy part, though. AI, man. Is it going to get more people just to sound the same?
Oh yeah. Well, social media is already doing that.
So what's the difference? How you differentiate? How does one differentiate themselves?
Personal brand. You have to have a personal brand these days. That's the thing that is AI and automation is going to be there on the back end. Huh?
I like that. What develops a personal brand in your opinion?
So a personal brand is a name or a story that people associate you with.
There you go.
That they talk about when you're not in the room. Like, what are you known for? What do people say about you when you're not in the room? And if you're an advisor, trusted advisor, there should be some evidence of you teaching, training, or educating people on some type of, free will content to kind of educate, and it just builds trust. I mean, as an advisor or agent, you realize that most people don't know any of this stuff that you know. Even if you're a beginner, they don't know anything, and they're intimidated to talk about it. They don't have anybody to talk about it, or they've never talked about it ever.
So if you are talking to somebody, who would be the niche then for this? It would be somebody that's they're in a market. They already got a market. They're an established business, but they're having a leveling off in their revenue, or someone that's just starting. Who's for the accelerated program you got?
It's going to be
market?
It's going to be an established business owner that's serious about their business, and they're not looking to give me their last dollar, right? That I'm their savior to try to like, oh, this is the last. I give me the last dollar. I need this to work. It's going to be somebody that's invested for the long term, that they've kind of already got it working. They're in that, $5 to $10 grand a month, and they're looking to scale their business up in a way. And they partner with us. We teach them. Sales, business development, and all those things. They're just looking to grow. I'm looking for people like that. I'm not looking for somebody that I'm having to do and build their entire business for them. I'm looking to be a growth partner to help accelerate the journey that they're on.
So what do they get for their investment? $5,000 to $10,000 a month. What are they getting for their relationship and involvement with you?
So the first thing they get is a proven customized AI lead generation funnel, which is the process that I already talked about. Is they get a lead gen system where it's lead gens from Facebook advertising, right? Then they get information from the prospect, where we use an AI survey, we educate the prospect, and then they get the ability for people to auto book on their calendar, which is what a lot of insurance agents love, is to wake up, Sunday you're watching the game, and you get a ping on your phone, and you got a couple appointments for today. You got 4 or 5 appointments going into Monday. You're feeling pretty good. The 10 to 20 leads that you got to call, you're ready to hit the phones, because, you know what I'm saying? And so we're trying to activate that prospecting energy, because if you win Mondays, usually the week's pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Just like anything else, just like working out, right? You go on Monday, you're usually probably going to hit 4 or 5 days in the week. You miss Monday, it just depends. And so then you get the AI lead generation system, and then every single week, I do a weekly coaching call where we go over sales training, or somebody else in the program that's doing really well, or I bring in an industry expert like John Wetmore, integrity partner, $200 million agency, comes on and talk about how to build an agency, or any other integrity partners that I know that have been past, present, or future clients.
You talking about integrity partner through Integrity Marketing Group?
Yes.
Oh, so you know about our company?
Huh?
You know about our company, then, Integrity Marketing?
Yes. So Brian Celestine's an integrity partner. I just was meeting with him.
Okay.
I think Astic Lee. I think the headquarters is down here, right?
Yeah,
They just had some 2 days ago, right?
Fountain Place.
Yeah. So one of my partners, I was just on the phone with him. He was just at the headquarters, and then there was something in Vegas that he was at 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, for sure. So I was just with him. I was speaking at an 8% conference 2 days ago. Was that yesterday? It's yesterday or something like that. I just spoke at one, and he was there.
Yeah.
So
that's what's his name? 8% conference. Who's running
Cody
that?
Askins.
Cody Askins, my man Cody.
Yes.
I apologize for the brain fart, big dog. I've been in and out of airports. My bad.
Yes.
But yeah, Cody, great guy.
Yeah. So we do one of those calls every single week, and the whole purpose of that call is like a midweek pick me up, where we talk about the effective strategies that somebody like some of the young kids that are doing 40, 50 grand a month doing it, or how to build an agency, is something productive pertaining to the actual business. It's not a motivational session. It's a life insurance business coaching moment to just propel you into, finishing out the week strong. And then we help set up the systems and manage them for them, do any coaching, lead generation. And then we do quarterly masterminds in person. We just did one in Orlando for 2 days intensive to just help guys in a small, intimate environment really focus on the things that they can't really say inside the industry, where they're like, hey, this is what I'm struggling with. And so we do that. And so that's what they get.
I love it. So here's my question. This is the question I always ask guys in your space. I remember the first guy that came to me, 18, 19. He wanted me to drop $5,000 into his social media marketing business, which is cool. I'm open to do that. And since you have, because I'm a proof of concept guy.
Right.
I'm a guy that says, I'm a lead by example guy. So have you just focused just on lead gen? Because if a guy like you, and the money you make in insurance,
Yeah.
you can a ton of cash you make in insurance. So how come a guy like you hasn't created his own insurance agency using what you know about AI lead gen?
Because I'm a person of focus and simplicity, which is with the operations that I have is lean, is effective, and as a byproduct of me being on this end, which is what I like more, I'm still able to have that same fulfillment and impact from agents making sales and helping more people than me having to do it. I'm a lousy agent.
Well, you don't have to be an agent. You're a marketer.
Well, I'm just saying. So the reason why I'm saying that is like, why don't you just start your agency, build it, and do those things? And it's just like, I just didn't enjoy it from that end.
Do you think you have more credibility in the insurance space if you did?
No. So in the beginning, I still had my license and I was doing that.
Yeah.
And it started hurting my business because I had my license because they were worried about me recruiting their people. So I had all the uplines booking calls me. I'm like, oh man, this agency is doing $1 million. I know he's going to sign up. And they were just there to fill me out. So it was hurting my business. So once I wasn't a threat, you can go work with him. He's independent. Yeah. And I think that I'm in my purpose. This is just the best spot for me. I believe that wholeheartedly. Fair. And the autonomy of what I have, nothing wrong with the insurance industry, but it's just my lane, man. I'm just, it comes easy to me. Yeah. It's fun, and I get to get in rooms and meet a bunch of cool people. So I'm just happy with what I'm doing right now. Yeah,
because there's that's a conversation that we have when we all get together, because we're always sharing our marketing systems. Before our current arrangement right now with PHP Integrity, but we'd always get together in insurance conferences. Like, what are you doing? I'm in the senior market. I'm in the social security market. I'm in the annuity market. I'm in the premium finance market. Everybody had their own way of marketing to get into their type of clientele. So we would share. And the only way we have any credibility with what they were sharing and what they were doing is if they were doing it too. Like, I listened to you because you were doing it too. So, when you're looking at, you're the king of leads, versus, somebody that's a king of shaking hands. And I'm getting as this conversation is unraveling, you're just not the one end type of thing. Because Cody Askins, he's doing a 8% conference. You're speaking of King of Leads, but he's also got people out there shaking hands too as well. So they're looking for different niches.
Yeah.
So
I'm an entrepreneur at heart. It's just the mechanism or the thing that, again, I'm still solving that beginner agent problem that I had. That I was like, man, if I could solve this problem for other agents, I never want him to do that.
It's not a beginner agent problem. You're looking for mature businesses that can drop 5 to 10,000.
Yeah, but the thing that awareness is in the beginning stages, I have to start with them aware, and once they get to that level, then I'm willing to work with them. Most people can't afford my program, but that doesn't mean I can't put out content to kind of help them also. So it's that synergy. Like, again, most of the content that we put out isn't high level content; it's beginner content. Okay. There's not a lot of content out there for people making over $10 million.
So just to be clear and a clear takeaway from anybody watching this interview, what would be that beginner content that every agent needs to make so therefore they can afford your services?
The beginner content that they should make?
Yeah, so they can start creating some cash flow. So therefore can, hey, let me talk to you. Let me call you up. So therefore I can now really invest into my business after creating some scratch and kind of getting the heavy lifting to kind of a little bit off the ground so they can
I think it's really simple. It's not really just overcomplicated. It's just making content to kind of educate people on whatever the products or services that you offer, right? If your main focus of the business is selling insurance, then obviously there's multiple things that you can talk to people about and frame financial literacy in different capacities. I would be debt strategies, right? Savings, and then I guess the different investing vehicles, right? Like all those things, people want to know how to save money, get out of debt, or grow their money. So there's millions of topics that you can do with just saying, hey, ChatGPT, tell me the top 10 topics on these 3 things, which is how to become debt free, how to save more money, and then how to grow my money. And then just make short topics on those. I mean, I don't think it's that deep. You're not going to be able to solve somebody's financial problem in a piece of content. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get their attention for them to see your body of work that they can, when the time is right for them, you're the person that they think of when they have a question, they have a problem, or they're looking for a solution.
Okay.
Right? So that is for you to be in that direction, right? Okay. So again, it's probably 10 years but I remember watching your first content as a beginner, struggling agent on a Saturday, laying on my couch trying to figure out how to close the deal on Monday because I just lost one, right? So, like, that content helped propel me, right?
It's good. So what's the next move for you? What's 25, 26 going to look like for you?
Man, right now I'm doing a lot of podcasts and meeting things, and I'm really getting more into. I'm kind of branching out into more entrepreneurship, and I've been helping a lot more people outside of the insurance industry.
Good.
Ironically, which is I'm broadening the conversations that I'm having because I'm not just the leads guy, right? Yeah. That's just one piece of what I'm doing. Yeah. And anytime I have a conversation, I'm having high level conversations, and I found like people were kind of learning from me and doing that. And so I'm having fun doing that. So right now it's traveling, speaking more. I got a book that's in publishing that should be coming out in the next couple of weeks called Productize. Yeah. So working on that, and then I'm just sharing my message like this.
What was your message on the 8% stage, and why should people watch that interview? Because I'm pretty sure Cody's got it online.
Yes,
right?
It's content creation is wealth creation. Yeah, that was the topic of it.
And what was your main points of that?
The breakdown is Daniel Priestley. He wrote the book 24 Assets and Key Persons of Influence. And the statement that he made is that income follows assets. And I was like, oh, assets like real estate and stocks. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, well, a piece of content can be considered a digital asset, right? So if you create enough content, you can create equity, which is like digital equity that at a certain point, if you create enough content, you'll have momentum, turn a person into a lead, turn a stranger into a paying client. That person will pay you in exchange for something, whether it's for insurance or doing digital marketing. So I'm like, oh, content creation is wealth creation because I've created a pretty abundant nest egg for my family, and I'm sure you have from using social media. And once I figured that out, I stopped looking at social media as just a piece of like a video to post, and I started thinking about like coins I'm depositing to a bank that at one point I can withdraw from.
Yeah, to your point, because when I was doing dinner seminars, mailers, or I just be straight just phone banking, making calls. Once that phone call is done, once that social, or once that lead campaign done in terms of the mailers, the campaign is done.
Right.
But if I'm creating content, somebody might stumble across that 6 weeks later,
Right.
6 months later, a year later, and then they dive down the rabbit hole of your brand, of your personal brand, and start the relatability and trust factor starts to build from there.
Yeah. And I guess the last thing I'll say is the one thing I love about content is people will move towards you when they're ready. So the content is there waiting on them, and when they're ready, they reach out to you. And I know you can say this, it's like anybody that comes from YouTube, right? They're high quality from a lead in that perspective, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty dope. And so you're kind of just leading the breadcrumbs to you.
Yeah. And don't get jaded because people don't respond or you don't have a lot of views, right? We keep doing it to your point. So that being said, man, appreciate you being here on the Just Earn It podcast.
Yeah, man.
What a story from you to go from server to figuring things out in the insurance business and finding out, there's some hiccups there, to serving again. And guys just kind of leading you to a different spot to where you find yourself in your power spot now when helping people with AI and lead gen, man.
Thanks for that, man. I think that, having that resilience coming from Chicago and being a fighter, right? It's like not giving up until your last breath, man. And it's like sometimes you got to outlast things until you can figure it out, and then have some optimism of the future that like keep going. You eventually kind of figure it out. I didn't really figure it out till I was 35 years old, man. Took me a while, late bloomer, but I did it, and all the things that I went through, I'm able to use those things
Late
now.
bloomer,
Man.
you're still just getting started.
Yeah, I know, right?
But one thing I realized, because it took my entire 30s to pay back my mistakes in my 20s.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I started getting a stride in my 40s. Now I'm in my 50s. It's just slam dunk time.
Yeah, man.
But
I love it.
And then 60s is really where it starts happening.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I think that like as you get older, the things that you cared about and worried about, they just don't matter to you anymore either. So you got a little more time to focus, and you don't got to, you don't have time to waste. So your intensity, and you're kind of dialed in. And so I'm liking this season too.
Yeah, for sure. Hey guys, if you're out there looking to grow your business, make sure you follow Arturo Johnson here too as well. There's a conversation we're going to have about this at our next Cigars, Wealth, and Whiskey event here. It's coming up here, our quarterly event here to conversate we're having all these influencers come in at these conferences, especially 175,000 people coming here to Dallas. You need to be a part of that conversation because the new financial epicenter is happening right here in the DFW area. To get more people like Arturo, come check us out, the Cigars, Wealth, and Whiskey quarterly upscale masterclass and networking event. That being said, if you haven't done so yet, make sure you follow Arturo here. We'll put the links here in the comment section below. And at the same time, make sure you subscribe to a channel that helps you think like a millionaire, strategize like a millionaire so that we can be good. First generation cash flow millionaire. That being said, from Dallas, Texas, on behalf of Arturo Johnson, I'm your money smart guy. And until we meet again, continue to live smart, continue to love smart, and be money smart today. Bye-bye.